Earth as a singular planet. In fact, it is anything but. For this is a story not of a universe, but a multiverse, where universes and planets, such as Earth, were replicated and mirrored across a vibrating, infinite plane. Some barely different from the next. Others drastically so.
This is DC On Screen. Every week, Dave and Jason talk about the multiverse of DC properties on film and television. But be warned, if it's been officially released, you can expect they'll spoil it.
Hiya! Welcome into DC On Screen. I'm your host, David C. Robertson. This is my co-host, Jason Goss.
Hello.
And today we are going to get super spoilery talking about the season 3 premiere of Lucifer. They're back, aren't they? Season 3, man. I can't believe we're 3 seasons into this show.
It's surprising.
I thought for sure it'd get canceled, but that was at the beginning.
Yeah.
I knew last year it wasn't going to be.
I mean, yeah. When after like the first couple episodes, I didn't know if it was going to make it. Mostly because it's a show called Lucifer, and that usually doesn't go over very well. But man, those 7 or 8 million people every week are really keeping this thing propped up.
Yeah.
Actually, well, I say 7. It ranges from like 7 to 10. It's very watched.
Yeah. Well, I mean, not in the actual ratings, but this episode had 3.92 million viewers.
Oh.
Yeah. But you know, Lucifer and Gotham have both been skirting around that area. So, you know, but with the old plus sevens, you know, and the streamings, it's about 10 million.
It's been up there.
Lucifer's doing better than Gotham did in the ratings.
Yeah,
so far this year.
Gotham's taking a turn.
But anyway,
but that's not why we're here.
No, you actually enjoyed this episode. I did too.
Yeah,
and right out of the gate, I want to say Tom Welling should have been on the show the entire time.
Yes,
but it is kind of nice to just have him come in. And I don't know if you've picked up on this, but it felt to me like he was just the official lantern hanger of the show now, where he just came in and like hung a lantern on how ridiculous everything in the show is.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Like,
and
you're the
crooked
cop that didn't really get off too easy.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Oh, okay, you're Lucifer's partner. Well, no, he's my partner. Yeah, I know what I said.
Yeah, like his double talk was fantastic. And I actually really liked his he was great here, and he did that thing that Tom Welling thing where like he portrays almost no emotion, and somehow that's the right call. I don't know what it is. I really don't. It's saying like if you watch Smallville, you just get used to it over the years, and you start seeing nuances. But it's he really doesn't show that much on screen. He just kind of there's something about the way he presents himself that makes you feel things. I guess it's weird. It's a very subtle thing.
Yeah, every time I see Tom Welling, I am surprised at how good of an actor he actually is.
It's because I can't put my finger on why.
Me either. Seemingly, he
just physically doesn't do much, but it works.
Yeah, and it was nice to see him without the Roswell haircut.
Yeah.
He is not aged poorly.
He's not. As is also pointed out in the episode. Yeah, he was a lot of fun here. I really like the double talk. Just all the brazen putting the foot down, get out there, Esperanza. Go get kidnapped. Yeah, because I've got the most Phil experience. That you're expendable. Oh,
yeah, that was great. I laughed so hard when he said it.
Yeah.
Even though it feels kind of dirty, it feels wrong somehow to see Superman referencing how large his dick is.
But it was funny. It was a funny little interaction. That was kind of
quick read then.
Yeah, hardly. It was weird though. Like this was one of those episodes where I was happy with the show, and if you've been following our Lucifer reviews, that has definitely not always been the case. So this last little chunk of season 2, and seems like maybe going into season 3, they've gotten way more into the story of the characters instead of the story of the week, and it's been very rewarding for me.
Absolutely.
But I gotta ask, how long? Like, do you want to start a betting pool on which episode it is where someone finally refers to the lieutenant as he thinks he's Superman?
Matter
of time, right?
Yeah, next week.
I mean, it could be as early as or as late as 3.
Yeah. Oh man, I laughed so hard when Chloe went off on like her explanation to the lieutenant.
Yeah.
And says that she was trying to see Lucifer's thing.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Good luck with seeing Lucifer's thing," or whatever it was.
And just kind of
was
walks
funny.
off. Yeah. It with the classic
That was
little
great.
Tom Welling eyebrow. His eyebrows do most of the acting for him, you realize.
I'm always too busy
That's
looking at that little glimmer in his eyes.
Yeah, 80% of the physical action of that actor is eyebrow related or eye related. Maybe it's just the glimmer moving around.
I don't know. He does a really good job with stepping.
He does. He steps well.
He steps and swivels well, so you get like a lot of good body language with his mood.
Yeah. Yeah. You got to think half of what he does on screen is just someone capturing the on camera the physical reaction a lot of people have to. That is a large man who looks like he has a plan. I will pay attention. Like he walks into it was a great speech. What does he walk in and say? Like, I'm Lieutenant, whatever his actual name is. I don't know. I'm still in my head.
Pierce.
I'm like Lieutenant Clark Kent or whatever. Pierce, because Pierce is fine.
Yeah, Marcus Pierce.
Marcus Pierce. So he comes in and just says, "I'm Lieutenant Marcus Pierce," and then what is it like? All right,
He
back
just walks
at it.
away.
He says like, and back to it, and goes.
Yeah.
It was at that moment, especially with the lead up, with the camera pulling up the stairs and going, climbing up his legs and showing the motorcycle helmet and everything. I was like, all right, well, they're gonna have fun with him. I like that. Let's do this giant lead up to. All right, back to it.
Yep. All right, so I am a little annoyed with I'm fine with it overall. I think it's kind of funny that Lucifer can't really cut off his wings this time. Like, they just keep coming back. Mm-hmm. And I liked the Amina deal thing where he's like, "I'm not mad at you. I'm not mad that you got your wings back or that you cut them off, as egregious as that is.
Yeah.
I'm just mad at myself that you didn't feel comfortable to tell me." I liked that. Mm-hmm. Good.
That talk in general was pretty great. You get to see like Amenadil's, I have faith, and then he sees the wings, and you can tell his faith is shaken. But he does. He recovers quickly. It was good. It was a good right hook, but he gets back on his feet. It was a good conversation up there. And they have been one of the highlights of the show when they're really talking. What do we keep calling it? The celestial drama or whatever.
Yeah.
Celestial family drama, whatever it is.
Which his face when when Lucifer tells him that he's never gonna see his mother again. Just, dude, DB Woodside deserves so much more in life.
No, he's great. He's always been great. He's never had an off moment in this show. Oh, and speaking of family drama with the therapist, that Tom Ellis gets at a similar moment when the therapist. Well, first, hack my wings off. Bob's your uncle, and God's your father.
Right.
Great as usual. Love. I've grown to love this little character that stands up to the devil himself, even after learning who he really is. Wonderful development. But her encourages him not to be rash and maybe think this one through, and then just drops the hammer. Hey, I almost died because of your bullshit. And he actually gets a moment where he's taken aback, like, okay, yeah, that's a good point. I kind of saw that and went, oh, he's learning.
Yeah.
The character's actually moving.
So
it's fantastic.
Do you think he's actually lost his devil face, or do you think it's just around Chloe?
It's a good question. I might have liked to have seen whether he could have shown her his wings, because maybe he just doesn't have any of his powers around Chloe. That may be where that develops.
Yeah. Well, around Chloe all the time, he's always, what is it that you
he's
desire?
had that. So, but maybe he's, from all the evidence we have, he could still be kind of losing his ability to exhibit any powers around Chloe, which would track if they wanted to go that way with it. Or it could be as simple as, God or this Sinnerman really is just pulling a switcheroo on Lucifer's powers for whatever nefarious or divine purpose.
The Sinnerman, dude, going back to Woodside, like Amenadiel's face when he mentions
Something's
the Sinnerman.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Something's there.
Yeah.
That was good stuff. That gave me chills. I was like, oh man, who's the Sinnerman? Look at Amenadiel.
Yeah.
He's about to piss himself.
It actually reminded me a lot of it was a pretty similar scene end of 1 where the escapee of hell was Mom, and like the look of fear in Tom Ellis's eyes when he's He's just like chugging that scotch, thinking about, oh god, mom's loose.
Yeah.
Well done on setting up the big bads as far as the acting.
Mm-hmm. So these the the kidnappers who grabbed Lucifer,
they were
they not just freaking hilarious?
I laughed my ass off when that big guy got stung and screams at that high pitch. I won't begin to mimic that pitch. It was funny.
No, thank you.
Made me very happy.
And then at the end, when they're all like, when they're all trussed up together and they're both crying, it reminded me of the Rick and Morty thing from this year where they were like, it'll only be like a couple of hours. That it's like 2 weeks later, and they like get in the car and they're like, no.
Mm-hmm.
It was just ridiculous. It was.
What was nice about that though? Between him and whoever the guy is that ended up being dead at the end, I never caught his name. I'm sure they said it. But between that guy and those guys, like those guys are tied up. Like they bring somebody in there. He escapes their tie up. He giggles at being prodded with the cattle and then he I suppose physically restrains them, scares the ever loving hell out of them. They're just like, you can almost see the top guy's tears falling on the bottom guy's face. Like they're freaking pissing themselves. Like actual urine at the base of that chair. You got to think, right? And then you get to the last guy, and he's in there, and like he gets so scared. He like a guy ends up dead. He's so scared of like he opens the truck doors, and he's got wings, and he's just like beyond frightened. And then this guy comes back and finds him at his house and threatens him with some weird blade that he's never seen before. And the guy's just down there like, I don't know, I mean, just bawling, just like beside himself bawling. And then the wings come out, and you start seeing him look back and forth like, what's going on? It's almost like they had the show, and then someone else directed those three characters and said, all right, pretend the devil himself was on Earth and play it straight.
Yeah.
But it actually, I kind of loved it, because they were so scared.
Mm-hmm.
It's nice. It's nice.
Absolutely. So while I didn't necessarily really get into the whole Ella and the squirrel thing, it was all right.
Oh, I did kind of get into it. It was funny, especially the little the almost completely flat body bag made me laugh. That was good.
That was funny. I think I cracked when she thought that the squirrel was actually knocking.
Leo.
More than that, though, I loved her interactions with Amina Deal.
Yeah. She wants a piece. That was clear.
Yeah.
See you doing your handsome broody act in the corner.
I'm not even gay, and I want a piece. I mean, Stevie Woodside, man. But no, I have lost my train of thought.
It's
completely.
bound to happen.
Yeah. That's
I'll start a new one. So
sure,
they upped the ante a little bit on Lucifer using his powers. Let us recall the kicking down the door shot.
Yeah.
The more of that, the better for the show.
Oh, absolutely.
Throwing the guy off the roof into the pool, which, that guy's dead, by the way. Let's do some basic math here. That guy is if not dead, crippled for life. But yeah, still, that aside. One of the conceits of television. You can throw people into pools from balconies. It happens all the time.
You can fall from any height as long as you land in water.
Not taking that out on Lucifer. Not a real problem for me. But it was just nice to see him really. And I just love it when he embraces being a superpowered badass. Like the guy at the top of the episode, I kept hoping he would shoot him right in the head, and the bullet would just bounce off, and the guy would pee himself. What we got wasn't bad. My favorite part was what does he say? Like, what is it you want, Mister? Sit out, bitch. Okay, Mister, sit out, bitch. That was good.
That was funny. I am continually expecting, but still disappointed when they skirt around Chloe actually figuring out that he is the devil.
That was my major.
Like, he's told you
my
he's
major
the devil
qualm is that scene.
Over and over again.
Because it was a little predictable. Not just that they would do a mislead, having done the phone call from last season's finale. In order to keep the premise alive, there was always they were going to have to confront it, and it was unfortunately predictable that it was going to be a confrontation that resulted in him not revealing himself. But to the show's credit, they didn't make it, a 4-episode story arc that she is betrayed yet again by his inability to really have a serious moment. And
No, it's a 32-episode arc.
I know. But I didn't want to spend like 4 episodes focusing on that, which is something that shows have done in the past. Like, that scene could have led to the whole thing, and they had it wrapped up by the end of the episode. And that was, I got to appreciate that.
Oh.
But it also, as much as I don't appreciate that that kind of mislead, it did come organically. Like, Lucy's powers are changing, and at least there's something there. At least there's a payoff.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed.
I don't know. Can I mention a couple of favorite phrases? I already mentioned Bob's your uncle, God's your father. Fantastic. That's not ironic. More Alanis Morissette kind of ironic.
Yes. Yes.
And one that made me giggle and shouldn't have, double napping. I don't know. It seems a little too on the nose, but it just made me laugh. So my diagnosis must be wrong, and I think my knee-jerk reaction of laughter must be right.
Yeah.
But I felt bad as a person for a second. When they mentioned that Snatched was a business, I kind of thought that would be really fun to run that business. I don't know what that says about me, but it sounded like it'd be funny to do.
Yeah, maybe. I can see it. It also feels like there would be like a lot of like legal implications that I wouldn't want to deal with.
Yeah. It's not a tenable business model. There's a reason they have a nearly unhackable site, but it kind of sounded funny to kidnap your friend and frighten him for a minute. Sorry, it's as far as pranks go, sounds kind of funny. I'd like the footage.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're going to find out that your friend has some like kidnapping trauma from his childhood that you've unleashed and ruined his life, because that's how things actually work. But
yeah, or just a weak heart.
Just anything like that.
It's like you pull a prank like that, hoping that they have a weak bladder, and then it turns out.
Oh, and then you
I'm not speaking from experience, thank God.
And then you take what is already a felony, and a felony you'd have to explain your way out of, and then add what they call, I think it's like felony murder or something like that, where if somebody dies in the act of you committing a felony, even if it's not murder, it's now a murder charge. So you've gone from felony to uber felony, and your explanation is, it was a joke! I don't see that working out very long term, but...
Yeah. I don't know. I would just trot in all of my friends and family over the years, and they'd be like, no, he just doesn't understand that things aren't funny. He has terrible judgment with the jokes. Well, I guess he'll have time to think about it.
Your Honor, send him to prison for that, but not murder.
Oh, man. So thoughts going forward?
Thoughts going forward are mostly around the Sinnerman. They've set up some cool themes, I think, with, if you could be redeemed, that means anyone can. They've got enough going on here that it could be a really fun ride this season.
Could be, yeah.
And they're finally playing with it.
As you put it the other day, I am a little worried about all these filler episodes they have.
Yeah.
Around.
So for anyone who's just joining us, there are 4 episodes that they had in the can ready to air last season. And then they were given 3 extra episodes, I think it was, to actually finish their run. So they went from like 19 episodes to 22, and 4 of the 19 were kind of bottle episodes that they could have aired anywhere. But they decided, like, well, wait a second. Mm-hmm. What if we use the entire story arc and really tell this thing? So I think some of the numbers are off there. But anyway, that's the story of it. They decided, let's cut out the bottle episodes, we'll add them to next season, and let's tell our story this way. Which I ended up applauding the decision to do that. Because, end of last season, they were really working on something, and I think they really picked up a lot of steam. As far as the overall narrative, it got, wonderfully complex, a lot of fun. And it would have kind of taken me out on a week-to-week basis to watch those episodes that essentially don't mean anything except maybe thematically. So now... all that being said, what it amounts to is there are 4 episodes out there that amount to nothing except thematically. And at some point, you're going to see them. So if you get really excited about where's this show going, and then there's a week where they just kind of show you an episode, and I hope you enjoy it, but it doesn't have anything to go with the story going forward, that's what happened. It's going to happen to you 4 times. Be aware. This is your PSA.
Yeah. So I was a little bummed out that we didn't get any Mazikeen this episode.
Hunting.
Yeah, whatever.
I guess that's going to be how they explain no Mazikeen when they have to.
Yeah. And I was bummed out, like I said, that Lucifer didn't actually show Chloe. She just really has to know at some point. Please, people.
It's my ongoing plea. I understand that that's the premise of the show, and that's one of the building blocks of the show as it is now. But I hope they turn a corner. And don't get me wrong, you can do this for years. Years you can keep a premise going like this. Like you can do the will they, won't they for as long as you want to do it. But I mean, I think a show really develops and grows when you finally take that out of the equation. And they could do a lot with it. That if they did it.
Unfortunately, the ratings also dropped.
I don't know. I know what you're talking about, but sometimes I think it pays off in ways that are unexpected. Like I might argue that the ratings might drop by maybe 1 million, but they tighten. The people that are left go, oh shit, now we're in it.
Yeah. I think modern audiences anyway, you've got about 4 seasons of Will They, Won't They in you before audiences just go, screw this.
Yeah, and Lucifer is a charming enough show, and I think they've gotten a lot better at actually the crime of the week has actually gotten slightly more engaging. I mean, the first half of the first season, the crime of the week was just rehashed Law and Order predictable. I mean, just a couple of weeks, it was just trite. I mean, you saw the turn coming way ahead. But I think they upped the ante a little bit, especially like kind of toward the end of last season. Some of the stuff they were investigating was a little more invested in the real storyline of the show, the characters of the show, and then B, just a little more fun, a little more interesting.
Yeah.
But what are your bets on? Looks like we're betting. They laid out the idea that like maybe it's God's plan and he's a mysterious ways thing. They really leaned on that mysterious ways thing this episode, and the Sinnerman and a couple of the implications at the end of the episode also indicate it might just be a much darker presence. You got any ideas? You got a bet?
I don't. I wish I did. I wish I was that smart. A preference as to
Would you rather this all be more of a God's plan thing and Sinnerman be a kind of a middling few episode arc, or would you rather Sinnerman be kind of a big bad and they misinterpreted God's plan? So I think those are the alternatives they presented to us. That's not all that's out there, but I think that's what they were trying to show this episode.
I think I like the idea of them not understanding what God's plan is and this actually being a real big bad.
I think I do too, because it allows for the possibility that if that's the case, maybe God's not in complete control, which is always interesting, or maybe that involves a kind of a team up with God, which is also going to be interesting if it happens. But maybe the Sinnerman actually requires God's active hand in this case.
I kind of want the Sinnerman to just be a
guy.
Man. Yeah.
What if it's just like a guy that was like a one-off? We saw him in a previous episode. Now he figured everything out, and now he's back. Like one of those guys that saw the devil's face and has kind of recuperated and rebounded pretty thoroughly. Now he's going after him.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know that I have a preference. Like, I'm a little afraid that anything that they do, I'm going to be disappointed.
Well, sure, that's how TV works. I mean, they've got months to disappoint you. It will happen. It's a matter of to what extent.
Well, he's been cast.
I forgot about that. Who do we have?
Let's see. What was his name? Kevin Carroll.
Let me check this guy out. 2 R's, 2 L's. That brought up an actor, so that's probably it. Okay.
Uh-huh. And it says here, Detective Marcus Pierce will have a history with the Sinnerman. So that's where our stories start to collide.
Oh, good. Maybe that's going to be like a thing where they... Oh, they did mention that it... What's her name? What's the lighthearted analyst's name? Ella.
Oh,
so
Ella.
Ella kind of mentioned that it was weird that Lieutenant Pierce chose this posting. So this should maybe factor into the fact that the Sinnerman is in that area. And if that's the case, maybe, you're right. The stories do fold into each other, and maybe we get some hint that, Pierce gets brought into the overall Lucifer story, which would be a lot of fun, because if he is lantern hanging, how much fun would it be if, like, on episode 7, we're talking right in the middle of the season where it's starting to ramp up to a mid-season finale, or even at the mid-season, I'll take that. Like, a moment where he's been slowly incorporated, and there's a moment where he turns to Chloe and just says, "You don't get it. Yeah, how do you not get it? He's the devil. He's not. He's not messing with you." Because he is very matter of fact and apparently pretty observant. It's like, The guy's name is Lucifer Morningstar. How were you not already on top of this?
By the way, I love that where the guy's like, I thought you guys were joking with me. I mean, I'm approached by a guy named Lucifer
And
and the chick from Hot Tub.
no, he says Hot
what
Tub
was it?
High School, and Lucifer kind of like almost a little angry with him says Hot Tub Hotel. She wasn't in the sequel, and he kind of says like sorry.
Actually, it was reversed. It was reversed.
Hotel in high school.
Yeah.
That's right. But the guy is afraid of Lucifer to the extent that he's like sorry, and it's like sorry, I got the piece of trivia wrong about a softcore porn. I apologize. Made me laugh though. A lot of the show made me laugh this week, man. It was fun. They did a lot of the celestial background stuff, and the story's really going somewhere. And they didn't focus as much on the procedural. This is a show that I've been happy to abandon at times, but this is a show that I was happy to watch this week.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Yeah.
Keep it up, Lucifer. All right, I think I'm out.
No, we'll
What
see
you
you in
got?
about 2 months, buddy.
Cool. Yeah. We'll catch up on Lucifer coverage at the mid-season finale. And this is actually the first episode of, I think, 3 days in a row we're going to have a new episode?
Yeah. Yeah. It would be at this point a boxing instructor would explain that we're coming at you fast and coming at you hard.
Yeah. So after this, we'll have our review of the Justice League trailer tomorrow. And then we have an interview with writer Joe McCabe, who has written 100 things Batman fans should know and do before they die. So I think that's going to be fun. And we'll forego the news this week, mostly.
Save
for the trailer, the Justice League trailer.
We're going to let it compile.
And,
New York Comic Con is going on as we speak, so we're going to kind of let that simmer.
Yeah. So anyway, guys, until next time, keep some DC on your screen, and, all the other things, the social media things.
Do the social
whatever.
media things with us. It's fun.
Twitter, Facebook, and all that.
Yeah.
DC on screen.
See you there.
See you guys tomorrow. Or on Twitter. Yeah, that's right. Our opening narration was from Dan Jurgens' The History of the DC Universe, Part 3 of 10, as featured in DC 52 Week 4. It was performed by me, David Z. Robertson. Intro music by Jason Goss and Michael Shackelford. Michael's band Future Elevators can be found on Spotify or future-elevators.com. Our introduction was performed by Eli Ophelders of Stealing the Remote, which lives on SoundCloud and can be found on iTunes and Stitcher. We're a proud member of the Giant Size Team Up Network, GiantSizeTeamUp.com. DC On Screen is a maladjusted production. Visit maladjusted.tv for more from me and Jason, including sketch comedy and improvised web series, vlogs, parodies, and more.
Are you maladjusted?
It's Superstart Battery Month at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Get up to a $25 gift card after rebate with the purchase of select Superstart batteries. Our professional parts people will test your old battery for free and recommend the right battery for your vehicle. For power, performance, and reliability, choose Superstart batteries only at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.